thank you for watching this special. As you know, I picked this up at Half Price Books for $6, and yeah, what a pickup! It's a Neal Adams cover, and I've been having really good luck finding Neal Adams books. It's just I picked up a lot of his books in recent months, and they've just sort of been finds. It's just strange how, you know, I mean, I was trying to get more of his stuff. I mean, I bought a few of his books before he passed, but even after he passed, it's not like, of course I'm always looking to get Neal Adams books, but you know, it's not like I've been going on eBay and doing all that. It's weird. They've been coming to me through the hunt, through on just random digs, on random hunts. I just go to Half Price Books, and there are books there in the bin, and they're books that are relatively, they're priced relatively cheap, and so the unfortunate thing about this one is this one's really in need of some TLC, and that's what we're hoping to do here, is not exacerbate any of these tears, but also prevent them from, just, kind of making the book look as presentable and, kind of examining what we have going on here throughout the book. So in terms of its presentation, it actually is a well-presenting book. There aren't, it's not like a copy that's just ridden with, a bunch of, color-breaking creases everywhere. There's sort of a big crease right here, as you can see. And then the spine is just shot to hell right here. In fact, this may be a detached cover. I haven't really gone through. I've opened up the book, and the cover is technically hanging on. But this is a situation where if you didn't handle it quite right, the cover could literally come off just like cleanly. So we're not going to go through the book at all, because I don't want to by chance exacerbate that. What I am going to do though is, this is again, has some cleaning solution bleach on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly try to get this presenting a little better. Find a little dry spot here and just kind of, lightly go through over the book and take off some dinge off the cover. And we're doing this very, very delicately, like more delicately than I would normally, because I put some pressure on it. But this is an old book, first of all. The pages are somewhat brittle, and this will need a press at some. Look at that, I'm getting some dinge on there already. It's an old book. You can see the dust there. Hasn't been taken care of very well. This is some kid's reader copy that they read over and over, which is fine. Comics books are meant to be read, but this will not be read anymore. Once it gets into my collection, it will be just preserved. Not that I'm going to slab it. Maybe at some point I'll want to slap it. But for now, I'm happy to just keep this in a top loader. And what's that on there? I just really want to be really delicate. Wipe some of that dirt off. Again, it's surprisingly, like, aside from the spine that just was beat up, it's in surprisingly still good shape, I would say, in terms of presentation and overall. Like, it's a book, it's a complete book. You know what I mean? It's a complete book. It does have a ripped cover. There's, you know, some ripping, but it's well, I'll show you what the rip looks like. And I'm not gonna open it up that much, but it's right here. If you can see right there, there's a rip that goes through the book. Now, this rip is significant, but as long as we keep the book flat, as long as we keep it, you know, under wraps, in the top loader, it's not a situation where you can really, it's really noticeable. You can see right there, see how that comes off there? Yeah, so that's not something we want to exacerbate. And we want to just keep it as is. So this bottom part there's a rip right down the spine, right in the middle here. I'm going to try to show it to you here. There it is. There, the rip goes right along. And I have to make it a little darker so you can see it's too bright. So this is what we're looking at. Come into focus. There's a rip right there, right along the bottom edge. That's actually the best angle. So yeah, the cover is technically detached because that rip goes right along the staple there. So the bottom, I'm assuming the bottom staple is detached, and I'm just gonna take a close look. If it's not detached, it's hanging on by the thinnest, the barest of threads. I wish my camera would just focus. There we go. It'll come into focus maybe. But this top staple is still, that's still there. That's intact. Love it. So we still got the cover technically on. And boy, man, do I want to get this in a really nice bag and board. And do I really want, and I want to, like, first of all, I'm going to keep cleaning it, because that's really what's going to make this thing, I think, pop, is just to keep it, there we go, it's nice and dry. It's really going to help the presentation of the book, and then at some point when we get this, you know, I really want to be careful here. I want to just do nice soft brushing motions. And again, you know, this book is old, and so what we're really just doing is we're just cleaning out all the dirt that's built into all the creases and the crevices of this book. We're not trying to exacerbate any of the rips, and we're just gently going over the book, just cleaning up some of the stinge, because really at the end of the day, this book won't be opened. It's just going to be you know, it deserves to be retired at this point. It doesn't deserve to be read or opened. It will. I'm gonna probably get it slabbed at some point. And it's a low grade copy for sure. I would put it at, I want to say it's gonna be about a 2.5. Because it is still, again, it's still a complete book. The cover's barely hanging on. You've got just minor tears here and there, you know. So I would put this at a 2 for sure. 2 for sure, 2.5 potentially. The pages are somewhat brittle, so you have to be careful. And again, I think this is a book definitely that would benefit from like a professional cleaning and pressing. It's definitely in the pedigree of books that deserve it, especially if you appreciate Neal Adams' work like I do. This is just a classic Silver Age Neal Adams book that we want to treat like the treasure it is. And the fact that I got this for $6 is just, I mean, it's a low grade copy, but man, $6 for Silver Age Neal Adams. I mean, the cover could have been off. It could have just been the internal. Actually, Neal Adams didn't do anything on the inside of the book, so I take that back. It could have just been the cover, and this would have been an amazing book. It's really the cover that we're concerned with here, because that's the part of the book that Neal Adams contributed to on this beautiful book, this beautiful story. The race between Superman and Flash wins, which is fine. It's a best out of 3, and Flash wins the best out of 3. This is the best out of 3 book. All right, so we're just getting this. Look how much dirt's coming off there. So this is definitely helping to improve, again, just the overall look of the front and back cover. And I'm just using very light pressure and just getting, again, that surface dirt off. It does look better, I think. There are parts of the book here that definitely just has some built-in crust on it. We're just wiping it off the best we can. It's very, very brittle. Very, very brittle. So, like I mentioned before, this could use maybe some time in a humidifier, in a humidifying bath, in a moisture bath, just to get these pages, like return some integrity to the dryness of these pages. There we go. Just gonna give it a nice long sort of nice long soft rub on there. Boom. Okay. So again, low grade copy. I can't do much with it in terms of the cleaning and at this point, but what I'm hoping is to just get it looking a little nicer before we before put in a bag and board and then put it in a top loader. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end up putting this in a top loader and preserving this beautiful Silver Age. Oh, look at that. What's that? That doesn't look good. There's some crust on there. Well, good thing we got it off. Got a piece of it off, but that's on there nice and thick. I'm just gonna take a closer look at this. Alright, that's something we can kind of rub off, I'm sure. So I'm just gonna rub. It's crusted on there. I don't know, somebody's booger or something. It's crusted on there nice and deep. We're trying to get it off. Trying to make this Neal Adams book look as nice. I'm gonna get that booger off if it's the last thing I do. We don't want boogers on classic books. No, we don't. Alright, so give another little rub there. Soften that booger up, whatever it is. Rub it on, rub it off. Wax on, wax off. Here we go. It's looking a little better. Booger may end up winning this contest. That looks to be caked on there really good. I'm just gonna have to degrade it with a million rubs. Coming at it from different angles. Coming at it from different angles. Alright, let's see if it... It's like... what is it? Man, that is just annoying. It's not coming off. Alright, well... I tried as best I could to get it off, but it's not... It is dirt, because look at all this dirt that's coming off it. It's just kind of caked on there really well, so there's not much I can do about that. Sorry folks, I know for the OCD people out there, I know how annoying that can be. Kind of like... Alright, so what we want to do here is be careful along the spine, but I do want to get Batman looking sharp. All this the color stuff. I want it looking sharp. No dust or dinge. Clean it up. Alright, I'm gonna get some more. There we go. We're just doing it dry now. Just doing it dry. Just getting all the dust and dinge off. Hopefully, for those of you watching, I hope this is therapeutic for a lot of people, just watching me clean a book that I love. Yes, I love this book. Yes, it is possible to love inanimate things, such as this book. Alright, so I am not going to rub along that spine at all, but definitely looks, I think, a lot cleaner than before. It's, I mean, we got a lot of dinge off. I'm just going to show you what this one especially, look at all this gunk that came off, right? So it's definitely cleaner. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in a bag and board now. What I brought with me is this wood glue, Gorilla Wood Glue. Now you're probably thinking, Borum, what are you doing? Don't do Don't do what I think you're gonna do. Trust me. I would never do anything stupid with this book. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get this solution going and get this glue. What I want to do is, just get a little bit of glue on here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna ever so lightly reattach. Let me just get this in focus here. Now I know you're thinking like, hey, don't do anything like restoration type to this book. It technically is restoration in the sense that we're making repairs to the book, but it is not anything that would garner like CGC to change the label on it. And so what I'm doing here, as you can see, I've got the ever lightest amount of glue right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly, it's already kind of dry, so I'm just going to put just the slightest bit and reattach that part there. Okay, that'll stick. That'll just dry and stick on there. We're going to do that for this little part of the book as well. And all we're doing is we're just batting it down so it doesn't somewhat so brittle. Okay, I don't want that piece ripping off. We want that cover to remain. Now I'm going to get some more glue here. Just need working some magic here. Okay. Now, why am I using wood glue? Well, wood glue is just a right amount of, like when it's somewhat dry, it's the right amount of consistency that it'll transfer some of the stickiness onto the paper without staining through the book. And all I want to do there is, I mean, this isn't going to glue the paper back onto the cover or anything like that. But as you notice, what it will do is it'll keep, because I mean, we're not going to move this cover to the point where it's going to continue to like rip and do whatever. So notice it's not, I didn't attach it or glue it on or anything, but notice how it was like sticking up before, and so that it could get caught and whatnot. Now it's relatively in the position that it was meant to be in, and it's holding that position. So from just a visual standpoint, it looks a lot better. Now, what we're also gonna do, I'm just gonna take the remnants of the glue I have here, and all I want to do is just kind of get it as flat along this edge as possible. And what I want to do is I want to just get right along the edge there on the bottom of this book here. There we go. Just ever slight, right? And again, I'm not putting any kind of layer of glue on this book. I'm just getting that part sticky there. That part sticky right there. Especially right there. This is the money portion of the book. And so what I want to do now is, now that I got some glue that's still somewhat wet, I'm just gonna press it and let that glue just naturally adheres onto what was the spine of that book. Just gonna apply light pressure. Okay. And boom, that is so brittle, I do not want to touch that any more than it has to be touched. Okay, so that's that. And I'm trying to find a bag and board, a new one as I can, that deserves. I want it tight. I also want it wide enough to where it fits the comics. So I gotta kind of go through my books now. This is a nice bag and board. I'm going to take my Star Trek comic out, and I'm going to put the Neal Adams book in this backing board. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so this is one of the nicer bags and boards that I have. And the Star Trek comic is going to come out. And we're going to put this beautiful, beautiful comic in its place. Boom. Okay, so we're going to put that in. It's in. And what we're going to do is we're going to double back this board. Just put this one in there as well. Boom. And then the final thing we're going to do is we're going to put this in a top loader. Alright. Nudge it in all the way to the inside edge. And it is nice and tight in there. Okay, and protected. So, again, shout out to Jay. I watched Jay's videos and got these BCW top loaders. They're amazing. So if there's a book, especially a book like this, where you know, unless you like, obviously you want to get this slabbed at some point, but prior to getting it slabbed, if you want to just protect it and you know, keep these edges here protected and out of the elements and whatnot, definitely get this top loader. But yeah, now I've got this book in a top loader, and life is good. Life is good with the Neal Adams book. And I'm just going to put this Star Trek comic book back in a bag and board. And we're done. Thank you for watching.